everyone, and welcome back to Galactic Reviews. This week, we watched an old 2005 movie called Sahara. It's a Matthew McConaughey movie, apparently one of his least liked movies, which I find hard to believe, but I don't know, most other people didn't seem to like it. So in this movie, Matthew McConaughey or Dirk Pitt is a adventurer very much like Indiana Jones. He goes
Only
around
it's like,
yeah,
it's like deep sea treasure. It
yeah,
seems more like.
yeah, he does mostly deep sea. He was in the Navy, just goes around, uncovers treasure, and his main goal is to find the iron battleship. I forget what the name is of the
I forget what
battleship,
it is.
but it's a Civil War battleship.
Yep.
And it was theorized to have been carrying US gold for the Confederates, and the Confederates never got it, and thus they lost the war. That's the theory, and he wants to find it just so that he can see if the theory is true and just to find the ship. But he gets caught up with other things, such as meeting up with the World Health Organization. One of the members there is trying to uncover a disease that is popping up in the Sahara Desert in Egypt, Africa. It's not in Egypt, in Africa, and she's trying to uncover where is this disease coming from. So the two of them work together and try to figure out everything. There is a third member, but he's more of comedy relief, to be honest. I count him as a character, but I think he's only there for comedic relief, which is still nice. But I think that summarizes the whole movie.
I lost my hat. Grab my hat.
I would be sad if I lost my hat, my favorite hat.
Hey, Dirk, you lost your hat. I lost my hat. And it wasn't just the baseball cap. It was every single hat he wore.
Fair enough.
I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I liked it a lot. The main character was kind of like Indiana Jones. Also reminded me a little bit of Hannibal from the A-Team, a little bit. The banter between him and the other character were kind of like Hannibal and Face at sometimes. To some extent, it was that kind of banter, especially towards the end where he's like, you couldn't have come in any sooner? No, I had to go grab a latte. Well, did you? And I got one for you too. Well, did you get me no cream? Did you get? No, I got you cream. You're gonna like it and enjoy it. That kind of banter was hilarious. And they're doing that in the middle of a firefight, which is awesome. So I did like that. So yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. It's good. I will definitely watch this movie again. There is no probably. I will definitely be watching this movie again. It's just a question on when.
As far as movies goes, this movie's a mess. It's very, very coincidental, but it tries not to be coincidental. It's got like 3 different plot lines. It's got very like ramshoddy like ways of connecting them. That being said, this is a very fun, funny, enjoyable action comedy. Matthew McConaughey is always a pleasure to watch. I'm actually in the middle of his memoir right now, coincidentally. So that was fun watching it as I'm reading this book. My enjoyment, good 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. As far as like a piece of cinema, man, that's like a 4 out of 10, a 5 out of 10. So I'd just give it like a strong, solid 7 out of 10. Is just like you'll enjoy this movie. You're not going to write any essays on this movie, but you'll enjoy it.
I'm basing mine on only enjoyment. I could care less about writing stuff about it. But that's just me. Like, I'm not looking at it like cinematography wise or anything really. I only look at that when I'm not enjoying it. I've got to be technical.
That's probably the only reason why it's listed as his worst or one of his worst movies, is just because of it having so many plot lines.
It's not a well-made movie, but it's a good movie.
Yeah, it's enjoyable, it's funny, and honestly, I thought it was just a really kick back, relax, funny movie. So I give it as well an 8.5. I'm always just a sucker for comedies, and this one had action in it, which made it even better. So always good for me. I'm glad you both liked it in your own ways.
I had to figure
out. Well, he liked it for its.
I know he got enjoyment out of it, but I get the critiques. I really do.
I enjoyed it.
Because no, it's not. It's definitely not perfect.
I enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it.
I know. Well, that's why, because I'm like, you enjoyed it for your own reasons.
Yes.
Not for just the basic reasons.
No,
I
yes.
mean, everyone has their own opinions on movies, anyways.
No matter how
Um,
good or bad they are. Take that how you will, Zach.
I was gonna follow up, but I was like, nah, not today. Overall, yeah, I feel like, as Andrew said, the biggest confusing part was the plot lines, because the first time I watched it, I really enjoyed it. The second time, I knew what was supposed to happen, but I was getting confused most of the time on when they were supposed to happen, because I'm like, this plot that drove the whole beginning of the movie, where has it gone to now? You find it out at like the last 20 minutes of the movie. You're like, finally. So yeah, no, I do understand that, but I think what held most people to this movie was just the bantering between Matthew McConaughey's character and Steve Zahn, if that's how you pronounce his last name. His character was Al. The bantering between those two was just all in all funny, enjoyable. I think one of my favorite parts between the two was probably when they escaped from the back of the truck. I really enjoyed that one. Or when they blew up the boat in the very beginning of the movie. Honestly, Al was 100% the Kronk
Oh yeah,
of
without a
this
doubt.
movie.
Without it.
Like when you have Dirk, Matthew McConaughey's character, get up, leave in the middle of what they were having, I was assume like a small lunch or whatever. He's like, no, it's fine. I'll pay for the bill. No, yeah, I pay for it all the time, but that's okay. I like it. You go. You don't need me. No, I'll pay for it. But he had quite a few of those lines where he was just talking to himself, like, oh yeah, I got you the check for this as well. So I wonder how much of that was improv and how much of it wasn't.
I also like the bit on like after they blew up the boat and they're swimming away. Like, hey Dirk, I lost my hat again. Like that was the main thing on his mind.
Of course, as it should be. You also
For,
have
in,
the
for
very
Indiana,
ending
I
of
guess
the
that's a callback to Indiana Jones because for him the hat always stays on. For Al, the hat always comes off. Like at least 5 times in the movie.
At least 5, yeah. Another scene I enjoyed was at the very end where Dirk and Eva, the love interest, they were on a private island or just on the beach in general. And he's like, I forgot, there's something I wanted to tell you
That was
when
a funny
we
bit.
were blowing up helicopters. You throw like a girl. And I'm like, yes.
I wasn't expecting that, but that was hilarious.
Yeah, because you're usually expecting like, I love you or whatever. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, just make fun.
See, now I'm kind of wondering what they would have done if they had like a better script, like how well this movie would have actually done. I know
If
Andrew's
they,
giving me that face like I'm wrong,
well,
but
if they,
No, only because it's like they fit 2 movies and tried to make them a compound sentence.
yeah, I was about to say, if they split it into 2 parts, 2 separate movies, I think it would have done really well. But they just did it into one.
Dirk and Al and the mystery of the desert Ironside, and Dirk and Al and the mystery of the mysterious plague.
Yeah, I think that might have been better. They could have gotten 2 movies out of it as
It was
well.
clever. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Just not the best written plot.
no.
Yes. I mean, I'm
Matthew
still impressed. They
McConaughey
had
always
great
does a good
actors
job.
for this. They had a great cast.
I was half expecting at some point for them to be like, "Wow, how convenient!" 'Cause
Yeah.
that probably would have fit both of them banter.
Or at
So-
the end, I like how both of the villains died. One exploded in his own helicopter. The other one drank the poison water
yeah.
he had been making.
That
I'm
was
like,
very good.
that's poetic justice.
This movie was absolute garbage as far as money goes. It had an initial $80 million budget, and then it doubled to $160 million budget, and then it like barely made over the original 80 million, I think. So Dirk Pitt is a character in a book series. In this movie, the book that this movie is based off of was the 11th book in the series.
Yes,
okay.
by Clive Cussler? After
Yeah, that
this movie
sounds-
came out in 2007, he told a court that Hollywood tore the heart out of my books and ruined the film. I'm going to have to see what I can do to get these books. They ruined it, says the author.
There's apparently a total of 26 books, and
Oh,
it went all the way from 17 by written by Clive Cussler, and then on book 18, it was picked up by his son Dirk Cussler.
I'm very much interested in reading some of these just to get an understanding of just how bad this film is. The last book to come out came out in 2021. So apparently he's potentially still writing. At least the son is. Well, actually, the last book that just came out was written only by the son. Up until 2019, it was written by both Clive and his son Dirk. Well, I have something new to do.
This looks like a good franchise, to be honest.
It seems like it.
It seems good and well thought out. So,
I mean, if the books are as funny as the movie was, along with
we'll see. That's the
improving
thing
on
I
the
don't
script
know.
and everything, then I hope and I think they would be great. But since the author said that they destroyed his book, I have no idea. I'm interested. I didn't realize these books. I'm interested in reading these now, getting more of a backstory on the characters. I don't understand why they would choose to jump right into the middle of the series.
All right. Well, this is this episode of Galactic Reviews, Sahara 2005. So join us next time when we will be reviewing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And see you next time on Galactic Reviews.